So today we're going to be taking a look at AskLeo.io, brand new startup in the space of no-code phone bot builders. Now, we're going to be using Airtable and Make.com to build a quick little nifty phone bot for sales reps. I've worked with a bunch of sales reps throughout my career to kind of know what they're doing on a day-to-day basis. So hopefully this is going to be one interesting little take on how to help your sales reps do more with less. Without any further ado, let's get stuck in. Okay, so we're going to start things off as we usually do with a very quick demo. I've got the number here that I need to dial, and I've got my database that is waiting for interactions and tasks as they are recorded from my phone call that I do speaking to my AI assistant. So I'm just going to dial in that number and let's see how it goes.
Thank you for your consent. What would you like to do today? You can either create a private voice note or create a client visit report. What would you prefer?
I would like to create a client visit report, please.
Great choice. Please provide me with the details of the client visit. What company did you visit? Who did you speak with? What was the topic of conversation? And do you need any help or support from the team at head office?
Yeah, so I visited Rocky from Builder Depot in North London, and yeah, we kind of discussed the fact that they're building a brand new showroom and they would like some of our stuff in it. He asked if we can get 8 packs of brochures in the next order, and also if Marcus can pay him a visit next Thursday morning, if possible.
Thank you for the detail. To summarize, you visited Rocky from Builder Depot in North London. You discussed the new showroom and their request for 8 packs of brochures in the next order. Rocky also asked if Marcus could visit him next Thursday morning. Is there anything else you would like to add or any specific support you need from the team at head office?
Actually, you know what? Just make sure that it's 3 packs of brochures, not 8.
Got it. So you'll need 3 packs of brochures instead of 8. Is there anything else you would like to add or need support with?
No, that's it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'll make sure to note that. Now, I'll wrap up the call. Thank you for your time. Asterisk, hanging up now.
Cheers. Thank you. And after a few seconds, as you can see, we've got our interaction being logged, and we should see the key discussion points, who we interacted with, the company, and of course, the tasks that are going to be populating. There we go. So Jerry was the person who was calling. We've got the call recording here if we want to listen back to it and see what was actually said. We've got the tasks. We've got the interaction date, the key points of discussion. Who did we interact with? And of course, we've got the tasks, and they look pretty good. 3 packs, schedule. And not only that, the deadline for this meeting is exactly when we said that we would like Marcus to actually visit Builder Depot. How cool is that? Now, let's see how this whole thing works. Okay, first things first, the database. What we have here is a very simple, very rudimentary CRM. I've got my team, just the name, the role, the phone, and then the interactions that this person had with clients. Then we have interactions, which essentially is where we record our interactions with our clients. There is a formula field here that essentially just concatenates the name and who I interacted with and on what day. We have the link back to the team member, where essentially you can see who did this interaction. We have an attachment field where we're pushing the call recording into. Then we have our interaction status, adding tasks, and of course this kind of like shows you the progression of what's happening with the system as we go. Then we have the interaction date, just the date field, the key discussion points, just a long text. We have the interaction with. Of course, this can be like done better in the sense that we should have a list of people and then a list of companies and what their role is and all of that. And we can also do some searching in terms of like bringing the LinkedIn profile of this person if we don't have it, and just like enriching this and make this into a proper CRM. But today, this is not the point. We're basically trying to showcase how you can call a number, talk to almost an assistant, so to speak, while you're on the road, while you're driving from meeting to meeting, and you don't have to bother anybody at the office. And the tasks and the notes is all recorded. Then we have the call ID, which is kind of necessary. We kind of need it. So make sure that you save this in. And we also have a link back to the tasks. The tasks, again, super straightforward, just a formula field here that just concatenates the description and who it's assigned to. We have the link back to the interaction, a short description of the task, who it's assigned to, which of course this can later on trigger emails to said people, and of course the deadline for that task if it exists. That's it in terms of the database design. Let's take a look at how to set things up within Leo and how to set things up within Make. All right, so first things first, we need to set up Leo. So if you haven't already subscribed to Leo, go ahead and create an account. And what you have here is my first workflow. Just basically jump in here, create a new workflow, and you will have something like this. You will get assigned a number pretty much immediately, and there are settings where you can change this phone number, but for the intents and purposes of this demo, we're using the default one that Leo is giving us. So from there, the next thing to do is jump into the knowledge base. And here, as you can see, I've given it the persona and the mission and the questions that I want it to ask, and in what order I want the questions to be asked. Simple as that. There's nothing else. I don't think you need to know much about the calls. You can click on a call and you can see the transcripts. There are some notifications, assistant settings. In assistant settings, you can choose your voice. You can also here ask it to record consent. It could be active, passive, or disabled. For now, for me, it's active. And yeah, that's basically it. Now, the next thing that you kind of need to do is to add the capability of sending an HTTP request like I have done here. So I believe you can do that by pressing add capability, jumping into integrations page and adding the HTTP module. So connect integration, look for HTTP. I'm not sure if it's going to find it. It doesn't. But anyway, bottom line is that as soon as you add it in, you can then use this within your workflow. So like I've done here, I've just added that capability in, and this is what this capability looks like, right? We need to send an HTTP request, and this is the instruction that we're giving the model that runs behind the scenes. Thanks for the info. I'll update the system for you. So this is what it does, and this is what it says to the caller. The method is post, and the URL is the URL that we get from Make. So if you haven't done so already, sign up for Make. There is a link in the description below. And the first thing that you kind of need to do is create a new scenario, just like I have done here, and create a new webhook. This webhook, just copy it. It doesn't have to be this webhook. It's the webhook that you get from the webhook module. Copy this address to clipboard and paste it in here, just like I have done. But I want you to notice this. You see how I've added a question mark, call ID, and then we have an equals sign. And then I've given it the call ID. You have to remember that you're kind of speaking to a model here. So the call ID needs to go there. Headers, query programs, just make sure that you put in some brackets, curly brackets in there. And then the body type is JSON, call ID, the call ID. That's it. Once you're done, press save. That's it in terms of setting up Leo. Now let's jump into Make and see how to set up the whole automation. Okay, so make.com. By now, you've probably already gotten your scenario set up, and you've got your first module, the webhook that we just used to set up Leo. Now, from there, what I'm personally doing, I'm creating a little variable called A. Doesn't have to be called A, but it's called A, where I'm mapping that call ID that I get from Leo. Once that's done, I am then searching my interactions because I want to make sure that that interaction doesn't exist by some chance. I've noticed that Leo sometimes, very rarely, maybe once or twice out of 20 attempts, it might send that payload twice. In other words, it will trigger the webhook twice for the same interaction, which is not exactly what we want to do. So we need something to check on our interactions table to make sure that this call ID does not exist. And you can see how I'm actually looking up and filtering this little process by making sure that the total number of bundles equals to 0 over here, because I don't want to reprocess this. From there, we actually create the interaction and we push the call ID in. So I'm adding a little interaction status, where I'm kind of like adding the timestamp and I'm mapping the call ID that I got from here. From there, we need to generate our GWT token. And this is where things get a little bit complicated, but if you follow these instructions, you should be just fine. So in order to generate an API key from Leo, you kind of have to do it manually as of right now. I'm sure very soon they're going to change this process, but for now we have to generate our own JWT token, which is almost like an API token. So how do we do that? We need to create a request. So make a request, and the URL is this, post. Then we have our content type, application is JSON, body type is raw, JSON, and here you need to put your email and password for your account. As soon as you put in your email and password, make sure that you also check parse response. From there, that's it. Press OK and you're golden. Next thing is to set up a quick little sleep module, which basically enables Leo to process the phone call. So you might generate the JWT token here, but you kind of need this thing to rest. I'm putting a 15-second delay here, and from there, I actually get the convo. So again, we don't have a pre-baked module here for Leo, but it's actually quite simple. If you think about it, we need to go and post into this. Well, actually, we need to get this URL. Don't forget to map in your call ID. From there, we have the authorization, bearer, and then the JWT token from module number 2. And that's basically it. Don't forget to parse the response and press OK. From there, I've also added like a little break, because sometimes even 15 seconds is not enough. So you kind of need to cover yourself. So I've added a break error handler, 3 attempts, 1 minute between each attempt should be plenty. Now, from there, iterator, and we're iterating through the conversation data, which is over here, this little array over here. We're iterating through that. And what we're iterating through is essentially the text of the conversation. Simple. From there, we're just putting all of that together into one little tidy string, which kind of looks like this. And the row separator is new row. So the result looks like so. Basically like a nice piece of text, so that our model can basically process it and understand it better. The next step is actually involving a little bit of ChatGPT. We want to get the basic client and company data that was discussed within this call. So the way that I'm doing this is I'm using the transform text to structured data module, GPT-4 Omni model, transcription of the sales call goes in here. You're a Savant marketing assistant, please review the transcription. The client name, it's the person who you spoke to, the client company name, the company where that person works, and the key discussion points. That's it. Those 3 parameters is what we're after here. Then we're searching for the rep. Essentially, I'm just querying my team table to find that person. And yeah, as soon as I find them, I also have like a little filter here to make sure that I always find somebody. Maybe this can be handled a little bit better, but at the moment, it's all good. Updating our record, updating our interaction record, essentially, where I'm putting in the rep who spoke to the client. I'm updating the file URL. Basically, I'm putting in the recording inside of Airtable, because this recording is not going to be stored forever on Leo. It's good for privacy reasons, of course, and GDPR. But yeah, if you want to keep a record of the recording, you need to put it into Airtable. From there, we're adding the tasks, and we're also printing the interaction status from module number 42, because we want to have that nice little log of actions that took place. The interaction date when the call was created, the key points, the client name, and the company name. And that's it. Now, the next step, as you can see, is this little step over here, where I'm actually extracting the tasks from the call. And this time I'm using a create a completion module. Again, setup is very similar to what we're used to on this channel, the Savant marketing assistant and whatnot. Then the prompt looks something like this, where I'm giving it the transcription of the call, when the call happened, because it needs the context, right? If I'm putting in a task in there that deals with time, you kind of have to give it the date of the call so that it can create the deadline for that particular task, like we did with Marcus visiting Rocky. So your response in the desired formatting, Again, just a very simple, straightforward convention. And the mission, the tokens are set to 0, temperature is 0.3. That's it, nothing else. From there, I'm iterating through this result, and I'm splitting it by the new line so that it creates this little sort of breakdown of each task. And then from there, I'm creating my task record where I'm basically splitting the value in this way so that I'm able to extract the description, the assigned to, and the deadline, of course, like so. From there, I'm also adding the interaction, as you can see here, so that it's kind of like all connected to each other. And that's basically it. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this quick little tutorial and introduction to Leo. Let me know of other use cases that you might think for this. I feel like this is just revolutionary because back in the day when I was working in the bathroom industry in the UK, we used to hire people specifically for this. And now it works. It's so freaking impressive. So yeah, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.